I'm jumping out of my seat over here watching this. I just think people have been thirsting for this.
And I'll just say this, and I'm with Tim. I'm jumping out my seat higher than you, my brother. I'm just going to say that.
There was a twinkle in her eye. There was a kick in her step that, when you're vice president, you're not loose. You can't, there's somebody above you. There's somebody, you don't want to overshadow them. And this was quite the coming out. And I got chills when she said, Donald Trump, I know your type. I was blown away. I kind of fell in love with her. I thought she was smart, engaging. She's funny, feisty, twinkle in your eye, punch you in the gut. I mean, everything you kind of want. And I just thought it was a great, great opening act.
She looked completely comfortable tonight with the words she was speaking. They felt organic and genuine.
Hey, fam. Okay, I just got to say it. Given the just stratospheric entrance of Vice President Kamala Harris into the presidential campaign, and she has now secured enough delegates to become the nominee, you're going to look real crazy being on the other side of that line, particularly as a person of color, but really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're going to look real weird and real lonely on that side. The door needs to close behind Amber.
I don't care. I'm still not going to vote for Kamala Harris. I don't care if I'm the only black man, only black person alive that is not going to vote for Kamala Harris. There's no way in hell I'm voting for that lady. Given her record, given how she's imagine this. For 3 years, she's been objectively lying to people about Joe Biden's mental state. And you think I'm going to trust what she has to say? Ridiculous. Right? You saw Joy Reid and the mainstream media, they're just gushing over Kamala Harris. And I don't see what's all the hype about. Right? Now you got black women out here. I already knew it was going to happen, the trials of a black man, right? Black women are out here, the wokey wokes, the bro blacks, the Democrats' most loyal constituency. I truly believe that most white women have learned their lesson and will do the right thing and will do right by Kamala. It's a black man we have to worry about. Worry about what? Making our own decisions about who we vote for? Not voting for a prosecutor that withheld evidence that would have freed a man because she was trying to keep her prosecution record? Don't want to vote for a woman who seems to fail upwards. Everything she tries, she ends up failing, or she has to attach herself to some other individual that got her career started by being in a relationship with a politically connected person. As a man, we don't really like that kind of stuff, right? We always talk about nepotism. We always talk about white privilege. But this lady, how is she part of the culture? This is the funny part I have about these black Democrats. You got black Democratic men out here crying. No wonder we're at the bottom. No wonder. But go first black woman. Oh, you see what Joy Reid focused on? She didn't tell you what policy she behind. She don't tell you what she's gonna do. All of it is oh look, we can get DI points for this lady. She went to Howard. She's a black Indian. It's all about the facade. It's all about the image. It's all about the psyop. It's all about the optics, but no substance whatsoever. And then they want to get mad why nobody want to vote for her. Black men don't want to vote for her. I believe the black vote is going to be divided with Kamala Harris. Right, as you see, presidential election winner, 64% says Trump was going to win. Swing states chances of winning, Trump got 55 for Pennsylvania because Kamala Harris says she's against fracking. She's going to ban fracking, which is what this state relies on for their economy. Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia. Imagine the one that have the most black population. She losing the worst at. The black vote going to be divided with Kamala Harris between black men and black women. This is why the black women are mad, because they're more loyal to the Democratic Party than the black men. The black men looking at it like, yo, what are the policies? What are the results? And all the black women seem to care about is optics. Oh, we got a first black African American. She's not African American. Oh, she got the first black woman. She's not black. She's biracial, but just so she could take an L. because Kamala Harris is not qualified. She shouldn't run. Name me a candidate that became president without getting a single vote. And within 24 hours, she raised $230 million. She secured her nomination, right? Harris secures delegates to become the Democrats' nomination without ever winning a primary vote. Black women fall right behind because she looked the part. I don't follow this. No, I'm not following this crap. But hey, I think most Americans agree because in the day, this idea that Trump is scared of Harris is more Democrats wishing that to be the case than actual reality. Because here's the reality.
Kamala Harris fare against the former president?
I mean, the short answer is not really any better. Take a look at this. This is the average of all the polls you're talking about there since the debate that tested Kamala Harris against Donald Trump. Trump 47%, Harris 46%. In this same set of polls, when it was Joe Biden, 47% for Trump and 45% for Biden. So the Democratic number on average goes up from 45 to 46. But I think it underscores for Democrats, they view this move as something that's going to improve their chances in the general election. That is based more on hope than it is on the numbers right now, because you go another level deep in this, and you've got the favorable, unfavorable, basic impression people have of these candidates here. For Joe Biden, look, these numbers have looked like this for a long time. Very, very bad numbers. 36 favorable, 57 unfavorable. Again, this in average of polls over the last month. So what's the difference with Kamala Harris? Again, not much of a difference from 36 favorable to 38, 57 unfavorable down to 52, but that's still a majority of voters saying they have an unfavorable impression of Kamala Harris. Throw up Donald Trump's numbers there for comparison. He's at 41 favorable, 55 unfavorable. All three of these figures with majorities of voters saying they are unfavorably impressed by them. So again, from the Democratic standpoint here, they think Harris being reintroduced as a presidential candidate, getting a different look, they think these numbers can improve for her, both in the favorables and in the horse race against Trump. But we don't know. As you say, she has not really been tested. Her name never actually got to a primary ballot in 2020. She dropped out a couple months before that. So see how it goes over. Democrats hope these numbers will improve. There's also a possibility they don't. There's also a possibility this rollout does not go well.
Yeah, and this idea, like, look, Black Lives Matter reject appointment of Kamala Harris as nominee. Bro, like, I don't understand how the Democrats are so hopeful about Kamala Harris. Now, I understand, okay, Republicans, you can't be complacent, but you coming in and the media singing your praises, trying to cover your A, right? Because she was in charge of the border. She was the border czar. She was in charge of immigration. And you look how that issue happened. She has numerous complaints. I believe out of all her campaign staffers that started off with her, only 4 of them stayed. People dropping left and right out of Kamala's staffing. No one's enthusiastic to be a staff member of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the most progressive president we had so far in recent memory. When she was a senator, she was pushing for universal health care and all this other stuff. When those things are not practical, I already showed you an example. She don't want to make a distinction between citizens and illegals. When she was district attorney, she opened it up to illegals, and she was trying to tell illegals, "Oh no, we don't want to prosecute you for your status. You're welcome here. You're protected here. You want welfare programs. You want all this stuff." But the illegals technically don't contribute into the system, but they're taking a whole lot of things out of it. If you look at stats, illegal immigrants are like the majority of people who are on welfare. When they're criminals, hey, you broke the law to come here. Like, we have to be like consistent here. We take away American citizens when they break the law from their kids and we put them in foster care, but all of a sudden when it's illegal, we don't want to separate kids from parents, even though the parents broke the law to come here, skip the line. Kamala Harris is all for that. My question is, what Kamala Harris is going to do differently than Joe Biden? Hell, I think a lot of her policy is going to make things even worse. And I'm happy that a lot of black men seem to know what the hell is going on. Here's one, for example.
Already know. I don't think America's ready. I don't think America's ready for a female president. You know what? I'm a black man, and I absolutely do not want another Democratic president in there. I think we should give the Republicans another try. There's a lot of agendas that the Democratic Party has kind of put into place that I don't support. I think they're destroying the black man. They're destroying the black family. I think they're ruining our country. And if you're living in New York like I am, man, this place is a financial nightmare, not to mention crime. I think if we put Trump back in there, man, it's going to be amazing. Kamala cannot do what he's going to do to bring this country back to where it needs to be. And this is not a race thing, because that's the number one thing they like to say when they talk about Trump and how he's a criminal and blah, 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 blah. I don't think any of that matters. His policies are what we need to focus on, and he's going to get us back where we need to go.
And that, my friend, is why Donald Trump has a 64% chance of winning as of right now anyway. Right? And here's Zeke Arkham, my favorite guy to follow on X. I asked one of my wife's friends to explain to me why she's voting for Kamala without mentioning her race or gender. She was stupefied, not in a good way like the Disturbed song either. I challenge any Harrison voter to the same. Explain to me why you're voting for her without mentioning her race or gender. What has she actually done? I can promise you no one will be able to accept this. And that, in a nutshell, is the Democratic Party, folks. Say my man lying. Did he lie? It was a lie told? No. All I hear, race, gender. I don't hear what she's going to do. And the women that are parading around, gushing over the fact that Kamala Harris is the nominee, they're talking about abortion. When Donald Trump already said he ain't touching abortion. He don't care about abortion no more. He gave it to the states. The state's going to decide. If California want 9 months abortions, they can have it. If Florida wants 6 week abortion up to 6 weeks, that's fine. Like, all the states can pick and choose what they want to do with the issue. Why you want to make it a general mandate across the board? And that's my problem. One issue voters. It seemed like a lot of these women, or single women specifically, were the biggest supporters of the Democratic Party, and black women, majority of them happen to be single women. 70% of kids are born to single moms. So is it any coincidence that the black community, the black women are so gung-ho about Kamala Harris, and the black men like, oh, hell no. Charleston White out here wilding, say he ain't no way. He say, right? And then you got these black Democratic men crying, talking about how hard they got it. Let's listen to a little bit of the clip.
I'm not sure people understand the pain or the suffering that goes along with being a black man in this country. I'm not sure people understand what it means to stay.
Well, that's based on your view. That's based on your experience, right? But I don't know what struggle you're talking about, bro. There's people who didn't like me for the way I talk, the way I walk, the way I dress, right? Some people didn't like the fact that I was smart. There was a lot of reasons why people gave me a hard time growing up. Because I'm black, and there's a certain expectation they wanted me to conform to. And I said, hell no. And you got this guy out here crying, oh, I'm black. It's hard being a black man. It's hard being anyone. Everyone got their struggles. Everyone got their obstacles in life. But I don't sit here and pretend because of my skin color that I got some special struggle that no one else is going through. And we wonder why the black community is at the bottom. Hey, look, I see why black women rather stay single. If you got a crying ass dude right here, crying about what? You think Martin Luther King cried like this dude right here? What struggle you had compared to your ancestors in the past? Crying like that. On my wife's birthday a few years ago, I held her hand and told her how much I love her. I told her that I would die for her and our children. She said, I know. We got a bit misty-eyed. I would never speak that way or get this emotional over a politician. I'm telling you, for the Democrats, politics is a religion. Look how they damn near worshiping Kamala Harris right now. I don't understand when did everyone lose their rights and became slaves, forced to pay cotton between 2016 and 2020? I just missed it. How does everyone keep saying that what we should all be afraid of? None of us came to pass before. Why is the fear tactic still being used? I agree. This is black men talking, right? Now, this is what I'm talking about. The Kamala Harris is going to divide the black vote. Still, majority of the black men will still vote for her. But there's a sizable amount of black men that ain't going to go for it. They ain't going for Harris. They're like, yo, nah, Harris locked up a bunch of black men, all this stuff. Black women, nah, we ain't dealing with it, right? Me, from a policy perspective, she's not pushing anything that I actually value. Hey, illegal immigration needs to get under the control. And based on her record as a senator, as a district attorney, she's very open borders. She thinks that illegal immigration should not be criminalized. She wants to decriminalize illegal immigration. That's your candidate, Kamala Harris. When the majority of Americans support mass deportation. And I got to get to the black Democrat men. Serious question. Is there a single black progressive women in media, academia, politics who will wear a t-shirt that includes the line "Follow Black Men"? Do you think Joy, Jamel, NSJ, Brittany Cooper, Sonny, or Whoopi would do this? This is shirt I'm wearing. This is Roland Martin, big pro-Democrat dude. And he's like, elect black women, fund black women, believe in black women. All this stuff. The black community elected black women, right? Still, because the black women they elect, Democrat. The black men they elect, Democrat. It should be, this shirt is not black. This is not a pro-black person here. This is a pro-Democrat person. Elect Democrat black women. Fund Democrat black women. Believe in Democrat black women. This is how these these pro-Democrats be masking their messaging. They be sitting here pretending they're pro-black, but they're not. They're pro-Democrat. As you saw, there's black people that are out here like, nah, look, Kamala Harris ain't pushing anything different than Joe Biden. She praised Joe Biden. She supported Joe Biden. She was a part of his administration. She was in charge of the border. That failed. Right? What did she do in office? No one can tell us. All we know is she's a biracial woman. And then when we critique the fact that she's just a biracial woman, or we look to her past records as a district attorney, senator, and see how progressive she was, she's pushing policies involving the government, which in turns create more spending, government spending, which creates more inflation, which makes it harder for us to live. She wants to forgive student loans. She wants to decriminalize illegal immigration, which 63% of Americans want gone. These illegals are taking resources away from American citizens who are paying for these social programs, and the illegals just get all the benefits from it. Kamala Harris is not doing anything differently. She's just going to do more of the same. And they want us to they just want us to vote for it. Now, I don't agree with Umar on most things, but on this particular point, I agree with him here, how he present this whole argument. So let's listen in a little bit.
If the Democratic Party wants the black male vote, I'm not too sure they get it with Kamala Harris, but I know what she's going to do. She's going to do exactly what the Republicans just did in Milwaukee with our sister Amber Rose and with Hulk Hogan. Wait till you see the Negro peons.
See, one thing I respect about Umar when he do his little Pan-African stick, he still is respectful of the black person, even if the black person is a different political party. A black Democrat would not do what Umar just did. He still called her his sister Amber Rose as if, oh, she's just a black person with a different opinion of how we should go. That's how I understand him. And now I could be missing context there, but that's how I understand it. If it was a Democrat, if he was like a pro-Democrat, like he called them the Negro peons, if it was a pro-Democrat talking, they would call her some kind of name like as you saw from Joy Reid. She's like, oh no, Amber Rose, she need to close the door. She looking crazy over there, right? She tried to paint you as, she tried to other you in the black community. And one thing I think the black community needs to really fight back against is this idea that the only way you can validate your blackness is to be aligned with the Democratic Party, the party that put a lot of policies that incentivize bad decisions, bad outcomes in your community. Look at, I already did War on Poverty. Incentivize single motherhood, which gave all the negative outcomes: higher rates of crime, higher rates of poverty, less likely to graduate high school, more likely to be in teen pregnancy from single mother households. Single mother households have so much correlation with negative outcomes inside a community, and the Democratic policy enable those decisions and behaviors to continue to perpetrate in the black community. Yet you still want us to get behind a Democrat. Nobody should be voting Kamala Harris. This should be a landslide victory. But you saw all that money. I already showed you. You saw all that money behind Kamala Harris. $235 million in 2 days. Actually, in 1 day. So you know they're going to be pushing those ads hard. And all I ask is people do your own research. Find out what your priorities are. Don't focus just on how desirable Kamala Harris make her policy sound or Trump makes his policy sound. Look at the outcomes. Look at how feasible it is to implement. And then look at if in history was something similar tried before and look at the results. Because we experienced Trump's presidency. We never experienced Kamala Harris' presidency. But one thing I do know, she's a California Democrat. And last time I checked, those people tend to be very extreme. And if you see the state, if you see the results of their state, they just passed a bill that allows these teachers to withhold information from parents about whether or not their kids is trans. And you want someone from that state, Kamala Harris, to run the entire country? All you gotta do is look at California and how much of issue it is right now. You want that for the entire country? That's that question I think everyone should be asking themselves. Just because they put lipstick on a pig is still a pig. Just because you put a black-looking woman in front of the Democratic policy doesn't change the fact that Democratic policies are not what we need right now in 2024. That is my argument. That is my pitch to undecideds, independents, and people who lean left. I digress. Let's continue.
Who are going to speak at the Democratic National Convention. It's going to be a complete circus. I'm telling you what they're going to do. I believe they're going to grab the rappers and they're going to grab the athletes. They're going to find someone extremely popular within the hip hop industry and the entertainment world to speak for Kamala Harris or whomsoever the Democratic Party convention nominates. I promise you, because they have to outdo Hulk Hogan and they have to outdo Amber Rose.
Now, that's a sad thing to hear, right? That to influence a community, you go to what? Entertainers, rappers. Like in other races, like Asians, the Hispanics, these people want to be taken seriously for serious topics like politics. But in the black community, we open our ears to them. Some of the least informed people, in my view, entertainers, actors, all this stuff, what they know about politics? Nothing. But they know that they got the attention of black folks. And you see how it's being misused, right? When the rappers or athletes are speaking for a Democratic cause, oh, yeah. The Democratic influencer on TikTok, they say, yeah, you should listen to them. You should do this. But God forbid, Cardi B, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said, we ain't endorsing Biden. Oh, they want to talk all kinds. Oh, you should have kept that to yourself. You should. How convenient. When the celebrities or entertainers are not speaking the way you want them to speak, all of a sudden, oh, you shouldn't listen to them. You got to do your own research. She's not credible. Y'all shouldn't be listening to celebrities for your political advice. But when they're preaching your message, oh, no, you should hear them out. All this, you praising them, you pushing them in the algorithm. I can't make ups or downs about it. But I digress, man. Kamala is a bad candidate. I think if she debates Trump, she's losing. All this narrative, I think Stephen A. came out and said, try to make this narrative that Donald Trump is scared of Kamala because he rather had Biden than Harris. But I already show you the data. It's only by 1%, 2%. That's it. That's the difference. Kamala is less favorable than Biden. So, I mean, it sounds like Stephen A. and Democrats that think like him are doing wishful thinking. They're selling a lot of hope. And I don't think they got to get in touch with some grass. That's all I'm trying to say. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Let me hear some of your reactions to the fact that Kamala Harris won the nominations without a single Democratic voter actually voting for her. How do you feel about it? If you're a Democratic voter, how do you feel for the fact that you have Kamala Harris representing you? Good, bad, indifferent? I'd like to hear all your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.